guys, I'm out on this beautiful day in Ohio with my buddy Sonic here riding the trails, and today I want to talk to you about 4 tips to help you prepare for trail riding before you take your horse out on the trail. I've got a little bit of a cold today, so bear with me as I take you through these 4 steps. The first thing that's important to have on our horses before we take them out on trail is good brakes. So you can see there I stopped Sonic off of my seat with no reins involved, and he was great, stopped nice and relaxed, and then stood here until I asked him to walk off. That way, when you're riding out on trail and you've got all the extra stimulation going on around you, you can ask your horse to stop off your seat, and if he doesn't stop, you can pick up your reins and he's going to be much more responsive and relaxed. I think about this kind of like a yellow light when you're driving. So when we're driving, we have our yellow light before the light turns red, and that's our warning to stop. Same thing here when we're riding. My seat is my warning to my horse that he needs to stop. And then if he misses that cue, that warning, then I've always got my reins to back him up. Confident at all gaits. What does this mean? Well, many times when we go out on trail, we're riding at the walk with our horse, but we want to practice walk, trot, and cantering our horses in the arena, especially making sure we're comfortable cantering in the indoor arena where we have good footing and our horses in a relaxed and safe environment. Because when we come out on trail, we're in a place where there's a lot more stimulation than in the arena and a lot more opportunities for our horse to potentially spook. And if our horse does spook and break into the canter, whether he's with a group of horses or he's alone, if we've practiced trotting and cantering in the ring, we're much more likely to be able to bring our horse down safely and keep him calm and feel like we're more confident and in better control. Direct with confidence. What does this mean? Well, it means that you're able to move your horse around, his different body parts around, and here I can move him laterally, I can back him up easily, I can move his hip away from my leg, do a little turn on the forehand, I can move his shoulders and do a turn on the haunches. So what does this help me to be able to do? When I'm out on trail, you know, I might be riding in a group of horses and have an encounter where I get a little too close or someone else's horse gets a little too close to my horse and I need to be able to back him up for safety reasons. Or maybe I need to maneuver around an obstacle. Or you might want to run into something like this where I'm riding out on trail and my horse comes off the path and gets a little too close to a tree and maybe I'm worried about him knocking my knee on that tree and I need to be able to move him laterally back onto the trail in order to be safe. Whatever the case is, the more control you have over your horse in the ring, being able to move him in these different ways, the safer you're going to be when you go out on trail. You're really laying a solid foundation with your horse. My 4th tip before hitting the trails is to do some desensitizing with your horse in the ring. I start this desensitizing on the ground with my horse, and the main thing that desensitizing does for your horse is it helps them to build confidence when they run into something that scares them. It's teaching them how to think their way through it instead of immediately react. And it's also teaching them to look to you in a stressful situation. So you can think about this like a fire drill. You're practicing your fire drill before you have a fire so that you know what to do in the case of a fire. And the same thing with your desensitizing. You're practicing this in a controlled environment where you're gradually increasing the pressure so that when you get in an uncontrolled environment where you don't have the ability to guide how much pressure is on the horse, they are already prepared and they know how to look to you, and you have more of an ability to get them to relax and to get their focus back on you. I hope these 4 tips on how to prepare your horse for trail riding were a help to you and your horse. If they were a help and you liked them, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any new upcoming content. I hope that you keep enjoying your horses, you keep growing and learning, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.